the first generation iPod Touch, the second generation iPod Touch, and now finally, the fourth generation iPod Touch. So, as you guys can see, Apple has come a long way in their line of iPod Touches. Some of you guys are wondering, I said first, second, fourth. The second and third were basically the same thing with minor changes, and that doesn't really affect this video. So, as you guys can see right off the bat, Apple, like I said, has come a long way in their lineup of iPod Touches. From the round, squared-ish, sharp-edged original iPod Touch to the rounded off edges, smooth, volume rockers, better features, speakers, iPod Touch second generation, now to the fourth generation iPod Touch, speakers, rockers, cameras, FaceTime, and more. This new iPod Touch is basically what we've been waiting for. It has everything we need, everything we want. And what this video is basically going to be, it's going to be a comparison video mainly between the iPod Touch first generation and second generation, throwing in a couple things from the first gen, but just showing you guys the differences speed-wise and everything else-wise between these two iPods. And I'll go ahead and get on started with that now. So, as you guys can see, on the left-hand side, we have the iPod Touch 4th generation, that's the newest one, and on the right-hand side, we have the iPod Touch 2nd generation, the latest version before this one. So, packaging-wise, we'll start off with packaging. Right here, you guys can see iPod Touch, this was the packaging, very bulky, squared off, very large packaging, and now this is the new packaging, slimmed down to whatever they need to use, that's all they're going to use, not anything more than that. iPod Touch right there. Comparison just between the packaging alone, you guys can see they're leaning much more towards the eco-friendly side of things. Squared off thing to save around the edges, literally save around the edges. You guys see iPod Touch there on both sides. Not many major things here. They came with all the same things as well. Just some very simple thing, something very simple to start off with packaging-wise. The price of these iPods are basically the same thing. There was no change in prices. They just now use this new model instead of the older version. At 8 gigabytes for this is $229. 32 gigabytes is $299. Yes, they did skip the 16 gigabyte now. And the 64 gigabyte version is available for $399. Let's go ahead and place these cases off to the side and move on to what we really came here for, of the two comparison between these two iPod Touches. The size and shape of both of these iPod Touches has come a long way from the original square version, sharp-edged version. But, as you guys can see, the new iPod Touch on the left-hand side is slimmed down much more than the original iPod Touch. You guys can see right down there, on both sides, you can see the difference between this fat old second generation iPod Touch and the new fourth generation iPod Touch. You guys can see right down there the slimness on the sides. This one much bulkier, this one much lighter, this one much heavier, obviously. You guys can see much difference. I'll have pictures in here to help you guys through this video to see nice close-up, high-resolution pictures of actual comparisons. Some features that make these two iPods different from each other. On the old version, you had the connected volume rockers, you had the power on and off switch, sleep switch on the top, and on the bottom you just had the dock and sync and charge port, headphone jack, and on the back you had the curved back and the Wi-Fi cover right over there. On the new version of the iPod Touch, the volume rockers are now separated on the side. They are separated so they're two different individual buttons so you don't get mixed up with what you're pressing. On the top, you have your, right there, power on and off switch, sleep switch, a little bit more laid back on the back of the iPod, and switch to the other side like on the iPhone. You guys can see the two switches on opposite sides of the devices itself. This is laid back a little bit more to help prevent accidental turn on and offs and sleep on and offs while it's in your pocket or being hit accidentally. That's what I believe it's for, and it does actually help. It will take some getting used to. It feels like it's a little bit more flat against the back, so it's going to be easier to press. I can already feel it's going to be easier to use. And you also, instead of having the Wi-Fi cover, you now have a camera that takes the spot of that right there on the back. Moving down to the bottom of the iPod Touch, you still have the 30-pin dock connector, the headphone jack, but you now also have a speaker right there. The speaker is not built into the dock like the other one. You have your own speaker grill right here on the bottom of this iPod to help maximize the sound coming out of your iPod Touch. On the back as well, you don't have the curved, it's more of a flat back, and curved at the tops and corners, and it's a flat back to the curved whole back of the original second generation iPod Touch. On the second generation iPod Touch, there's no camera or built-in microphone. On the fourth generation iPod Touch, there's 2 cameras and a built-in microphone. You have one camera on the front of the device that is used mainly for FaceTime, but you can also use it to take pictures of yourself or with somebody else, so you make sure you're getting in what's in the picture. You guys can see me waving right there. You could flip it around to have the second camera on the back. You guys can see the stand and everything that's in the background right now. The camera does not only take pictures, it also takes 720p high-definition video in landscape or portrait. You could also take your pictures in landscape or portrait as well. The camera feature on the new iPod Touch is something that really sets it apart from the older iPod Touch and any other MP3 player out there on the market right now. With having 2 cameras, having one available to do FaceTime and video chat with other people across the world is going to make this iPod sell better and faster than any other MP3 player out there on the market today. The screens on these 2 different devices differ so much. With the new Retina display built into the iPod Touch 4th generation, there's way more pixels, which allows there to be way more detail in the images that are projected onto the screen. On the iPod Touch 2nd generation, it does not have the Retina display, which allows the images to be a little bit more blockier, a little bit blurrier, and not as sharp as they appear to be on the new iPod Touch 4th generation. Now I'll scroll through a couple of my photos on these devices side by side. I'll zoom in, and hopefully you guys will be able to see the differences in color, clarity, the crispness, everything between these 2 photos, what makes them so much different. The one on the left being the 4th gen, one on the right is the 2nd generation. Right off the bat, you guys can see the blacks are blacker down here. It's a little bit, the whole image is a little bit, darker. The image on the right-hand side is a little bit whited out. All these photos, by the way, I did take, in case you guys are wondering. We'll go ahead and scroll over to there. You guys can't really see that. It's a little bit far away. That is crisp. You guys see, that's just blurred. That's just one big blur image. Right there, you guys can see crisp, blurred. Crisp, blurred. See, we'll flow through a couple other ones and see if we can find another one that is straight up and down right there. Hopefully you guys can see the color difference between these 2 devices. I'll zoom in really closely. You guys see the color difference in this one. The black stand out more, the brown stand out more. In this one, it's just a little bit whited out. There's too much white in it. It just overcomes the photo itself. The Retina display, look at that, guys. Look at the green grass in this one. Look how dull the grass is in this one. The display on this new iPod Touch is amazing. The colors just burst out at you. Look at the color difference of that. You guys can see how this is darker, how the orange is oranger. On here, the orange is more like a yellow. The other one, the orange is orange, the way it's supposed to be seen. The images look just as good as they do on my iMac. It looks so great. You guys can see how that's blurred out up there. Crisp and clear. You can see every branch on that iPod, 4th generation on the right-hand side. Great examples right there with some photos that I took. You guys can see the Retina display overpowers the iPod Touch 2nd generation so bad. It's not even funny how good the screen is on this iPod Touch. The videos that you play in high definition play amazing. You see every detail on the new iPod Touch with this Retina display. On the original iPod Touch, the battery was pretty good. On the 2nd generation iPod Touch, the battery was okay. It was getting better. On the 4th generation iPod Touch, the battery got even better, believe it or not. On the 2nd generation iPod Touch, what you got was 36 hours of music playback or 6 hours of video playback. On the new version of the iPod Touch, the 4th generation, what you get now is 40 hours of music playback. Don't know why you'd be listening to 40 straight hours of music playback, but that's what you can get. Or 7 hours of video playback. So huge difference in music playback. The extra 4 hours and the extra full hour with video playback, that could really mean the difference between seeing the climax of the movie and having your iPod die in the middle of the climax. Great battery life improvement. They managed to make it slimmer, yet add more to it. That just amazes me. Both of these devices have the accelerometer built in, so you guys saw when I would tilt the photo sideways, it would tilt sideways as well, make the best viewing angle. But what they did with the new iPod Touch is they added the gyroscope, the 3-axis gyroscope. So to dumb that down a little bit for everybody, if you're playing a racing game, and if you were playing a racing game on the original iPod, you'd have to move it all the way to have it just turn around. With this iPod, it's going to be so sensitive. You turn it, it's going to make that turn perfect. You turn a little bit this way, it's going to make that turn perfect that way. Any accelerometer-based games that you're going to use, or just rotating the screen when you're viewing pictures, notes, or on the internet, it's going to be better, it's going to be quicker, it's going to be faster, it's going to be smoother with the new 3-axis gyroscope. So now we'll do a speed test of the Wi-Fi and on the internet on these two iPod Touches. Once again, on the left you have the 4th gen, and on the right-hand side you have the 2nd generation. On both iPods, I have Engadget.com ready to load. The full site, not the web version, not the mobile version. So we'll go ahead and try to click them at the same exact time. Alright, so they're going right now. They're both going to the website. 2nd generation is still on Google. 4th generation is already on Engadget loading everything. So let's see who's going to come in first here. Both on the same Wi-Fi network. They both have full bars. Looks like the iPod Touch 4th generation is pulling ahead. The iPod Touch 4th generation is done. The 2nd generation is only halfway done. Do you guys see how much the A4 chip helps this new iPod Touch? The speeds are ridiculous. You see how fast that page loaded? All the images are there. I could have been out, read the story I wanted to read, looked at a couple new images that the new iPod torn up or whatever you guys want to look at, and you're already done. And in the meantime, you still have to sit there and load the website with the 2nd generation. So Apple has definitely come a far way along the lines of speed with their internet. This new iPod Touch is blazing fast. This one, now it's done. You guys saw the difference in between the lengths of those. This is not jailbroken. This is not jailbroken. Neither of them are jailbroken. They're both 4.1 version. There's absolutely nothing changed there. They're pretty much the same exact thing, just different models, so you guys know. So altogether, which iPod do you guys think I'm going to recommend you guys get? Yeah, you guessed it right. The 4th generation iPod Touch, the newest one, with the cameras, with the Retina display, with the speeds, everything is going to be better on this new iPod Touch. You guys saw in this comparison video that it outraces the iPod Touch 2nd generation so bad, I didn't even bother doing the 1st gen. I didn't want to embarrass it that bad. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please comment down below on your thoughts and ideas of this new iPod Touch. Things you thought wouldn't happen that happened, speed test-wise, and things that you're interested in with the new iPod Touch over the 2nd generation iPod Touch. Please thumbs up or like this video as well, as I worked hard to make it for you guys as well. I enjoy seeing how many people of you guys appreciate it. I really do appreciate that as well. And that's basically it, guys. I will catch you all in the next video. Favorite, comment, rate, subscribe. Thanks for watching this video. More videos to come with the iPod Touch 4th generation pertaining it and everything about it. More test videos to come and everything like that. So that's basically it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.